What language did Messi's ancestors speak? There's actually a few, and I bet at least one will surprise you. Being from Argentina, Messi obviously speaks Argentinian Spanish with an accent specific to his hometown of Rosario. But of course, Italian ancestry is extremely common in Argentina, and it's very evident in the surname Messi. The farther you go back, the more interesting things get. Most of his great-great-grandparents were not native Spanish speakers, and many of them spoke different things. So for instance, his great-great-grandpa Angelo spoke Marchigiano. This is considered a dialect of Italian, but the word dialect can get kind of confusing here. This is because before the standardization of Italian and modern education, the dialectal diversity in Italy was so high that different dialects couldn't understand each other. And Marchigiano was just one of those dialects, but it was actually pretty closely related to the Tuscan Italian that became the standard. However, that wouldn't have been the case for his great-great-grandmother Santa Barbara, who spoke Venetian. This is also considered an Italian dialect, but it's not really mutually intelligible with standard Italian. So for instance, she would not have been able to easily communicate with Angelo. And so actually a lot of Italian immigrants to Argentina would not have been able to easily communicate with each other in Italian. They would have done their best with Spanish or maybe used cocolice. This was a pidgin language spoken in Buenos Aires that was formed by the mixture of Spanish with Central Italian dialects. So for instance, it used verbs like mangiar from Italian mangiare or laburar from Italian lavorare. And actually some of this has stuck around in Argentinian Spanish. So for instance, many Argentinians will say laburo to say job. However, two of his great-great-grandparents didn't speak Spanish or an Italian dialect, and this is where things get really interesting. They actually spoke the Catalan language of the Catalonia region of Spain. It's a Romance language like Spanish and Italian, but it's not mutually intelligible with either of them. But what's really cool is that he actually knows his relatives that still live in Catalonia today, meaning that when he learned Catalan during his time in Barcelona, he was actually reconnecting with a heritage language.